This is Mrs. O'Neill for your Chapter 15 review questions and problems. I suggest to pause the video and again read over what's happening in beaker number 1, read over beaker 2 and 3, and beaker number 4, and get an idea or refresh your memory on chemical equilibrium. All right, so here we go. You're going to watch this video and pause when you see a question or a problem, and some are multiple parts. You're going to answer either mentally or on paper, but you should have a calculator and your reference sheets available. Continue playing the video to see the answers, and some of them are above and beyond your test questions in class, but they are good review questions for your AP exam. So the first one is on equilibrium. And we're going on to answer letter A using the icebox. Letter B is Kp, not just K. So there is a difference, ladies and gentlemen, between your pressure equilibrium constant and your regular equilibrium constant using the brackets versus the parentheses. And so there is a difference. You're using those brackets when you're dealing with concentrations of gases or concentrations of your aqueous solutions. But when we're dealing with the Kp, you are going to use parentheses. And notice there's no units for your equilibrium constant. Moving on to C. And number 2, dealing with your initial Q concentrations versus your equilibrium concentrations. So letters A, B, and C are very similar, and I show them to you separately. So this is your letter A answer. And again, hopefully if you're having trouble with B and C, now looking at A, you should be able to do B and C. So guys, this is dealing with comparing your Q versus K and which way the reaction is going to proceed. So let's look at B. And we're going to look at C. Moving on to number 3, equilibrium again. And notice the reaction. This is your net ionic reaction, but the IO4 negative really comes from that salt or that ionic compound. Now here though, on the right side, it's not really telling you what that's bonded to. So that's just going to be your polyatomic ion. So again, I give you something like this because you might see this in a AP exam question, something very different that you haven't seen, but you're answering the question same way. So here is your answer. So was it necessary to know that it came from the salt with sodium? No. Okay, so you're just using the same thing. Solubility. And again, for letter C, your appendix C in the book, or you can go online and look up those numbers. They just might be slightly different than what I used here. So your answer to A. And yes, you do need the S for solid and the AQs for aqueous. You also need your charge of +1 and -1. Your answer to B. Your answer to C. Again, if your numbers are different than what I have here, then your overall answer might be slightly different. Number 5, water dimers. Again, another good review AP exam question because it brings in that Vesper theory, okay, and drawing that structure. So again, we're taking different components of different chapters and putting them all together. So here we go, your answer to A. Your answer to B. Your answer to C. All right, guys, hopefully that makes sense and you are ready for the test.